Sorry about that. We left off talking about contentious child bullies and their status and how manipulative they can be and charismatic, and that I think that they are the most problematic type of bully because not only can they manipulate others and cause these cliques and kind of push away and reject others out of the clique, they can form others to be a bully as well. So they have this manipulative way of making others think that it's okay to behave the way that they're behaving. Like these girls thinking that it's okay to laugh about this bigger girl picking on this poor boy and stomping on him, of all things, stomping on him. And she seems like she's a lot older. This image right here just is so powerful to me because I don't understand how these girls are just sitting by not doing anything about it with their legs all up and hoo-hoo-hooing when this boy is getting beat down by this bigger girl that is completely, 2 times as big as the boy. And, did he really do something that bad that you need to be that way towards him? So this is what's happening to our children, and this is a big part of why, they feel so dismissed and influenced to be so angry and aggressive. There was a big study done on children and the effects of aggressive video games, and it really does affect the way that they end up behaving towards others and thinking that it's okay to behave just in a regular day, even towards their parents or towards teachers. So TV, there's so many different movies out there that are just really, really bad. Marvel has come up with some really great movies, but I don't think that children from years 1 through 10 should be watching those because they're so incredibly impressionable and they don't understand that that stuff is incredibly fake unless they're a little bit advanced of an 8-year-old or a 10-year-old. So TV is horrible. Video games, like I was just saying, the internet, as you can tell, all of these children are just enthralled in some sort of social media outlet or internet device, and it's becoming absolutely exponentially influential in early and middle childhood. And it's taking over. It's going to cause their little C7 spines to end up developing a hump because they're constantly hunched over looking at some video game TV screen. It's just horrible. They watch way more than 2 hours a day. And, just imagine what that's doing to their eyes because they're, the screen is so close to their eyes, and then, they're a lot of the times watching it in the dark and don't have light on to help with the rods and the cones in their eyes for focusing and developing properly. Computer use has also increased to about an hour a day, and from middle childhood, you just don't think that they would really need that very much, but in this day and age, they think, because of the technological advances that we have, we should really get those children watching and developing on the internet. I don't necessarily think that that's true. I think that, when we did the Oregon Trail as a kid and we learned how to type, that's one thing. Learning how to use a keyboard is one thing, but learning how to use a mouse is another. So music is a major media source because a lot of the time, my 14-year-old will manipulate me and say, but I wanted my phone so that I could listen to music. It helps me concentrate. And it's okay, but it's a huge distraction because what if you get a text message on your phone and then you're going to end up looking at your phone? He's like, but I think that it's easier for me to be able to focus on what the teacher's talking about if I have music. And I'm like, oh, no. It does not work that way. But that is their big excuse, is that music helps them. And it is an outlet. granted, but it depends on the type of music, and it depends on how you're using it, or when you're using it to study. So children, are supposed to be learning to read at this time. They should be learning more about books and magazines, but there's a level of books and magazines that they should be reading and looking at. More educational books instead of celebrity-based books that are all about drama and keeping up with the Kardashians is probably not the best way for them to spend their leisure time reading or looking up images. So that's a huge part of the way that our children are developing in middle childhood. And then the fact that in total, with TV and computer use and music, children are like spending 4 to 6 hours a day involved in some sort of a social media outlet. And that's crazy. I remember when 4 to 6 hours a day we were outside on our bicycles or playing hide and seek or, blackout or something like that. Or, I grew up in Orange County in Costa Mesa, and we had a neighborhood where, it was okay for us to hang out in. Plus, I'm a product of the 80s, so it was a little bit easier for me to, product of the late 80s, early 90s, and it was a lot easier for me to be able to go out on my bicycle and play cops and robbers or whatever we did in the neighborhood. And our parents weren't too worried about us, where nowadays it's a little bit more dangerous for us to just be out there without supervision. So, unfortunately, there's a lot more sedentary activities like all of these kids over here. Look at this kid. Look at his face. Look at how enthralled he is in his video game. And that's probably a cell phone where he has a video game on it. I don't even know. It's just ridiculous. And these kids and how interested they are in their video games, but not interested in interrelations between the three of them, which is absolutely ridiculous. I just don't understand why they aren't playing all together. Instead, they're on individual devices. It's just crazy. But this is the way that it is. Media multitasking. So, literally, children are simultaneously using, like a tablet, and then also watching TV. Or they're using their I don't even know what the name's, Nintendo DS. I think that's what the girl is on in the center here. And then watching TV as well. This is what our children are ending up doing. And I just don't think that it's advantageous. A quarter of all media use is involving multitasking, which is, what we've learned about psychology is that multitasking is taboo. It's not good because we're not focusing and we're not allowing ourselves to really wholeheartedly put our thoughts and our processes into one specific task at a time so that we can give our all to that specific task versus multitasking and only giving half-heartedness to each of those tasks all at once. So it's one thing if children are using the internet to learn for school projects and for, less than 30 minutes a day of, going on there and checking out some images. Like my son likes to go on to find an image, and then he'll take that, and he has a photographic memory, so he'll look at the image for a little bit, and then he'll be able to redraw it, but he does it in his own way. So I allow him to do that, but I really, really, really can't stand it when he's going on there or sneaking it in the middle of the night and staying up all night long. That's another thing. Children are going to school half awake because they've stayed up all night playing their video games, and their parents don't know because they went in their room and went to sleep, and their parents are thinking they're asleep, but they're really sneaking those video games. So us parents need to really be wary of that kind of a thing and be disciplined, authoritative parents and really explain to them the reasons, the whys and the hows of why they really shouldn't be doing what they're doing, and then reinforce it if they, explain to them the consequences to their actions if they end up doing it, and then really stick with the discipline. Don't just tell them that they're going to discipline them. Really do it. Take the video game away. I think that if it's all things in moderation are okay. I just think that it's really necessary to enforce the content that is being watched or utilized, because there's so many avenues now, especially on YouTube. Children can go to way too many bad influential things, and it's just sad. But heavy media uses can have superior detrimental effects. The sedentary activity alone can cause obesity. And then, cyberbullying can cause anxiety. And then, like I was saying about being on it all night, you have poor school performance. And then, like these kids, they're just totally socially isolated. They're not even playing with each other. It's just so sad. But research has shown that there are several negative effects to watching TV on the basis of aggression and that aggressive content. It completely predicts aggressive behavior in children. Look at Columbine kids, or even the kids that are, acting out Grand Theft Auto, thinking that like they can drive like they do in the video games, or that they can, go and take things away from people and steal from them, or hurt Grammys and take them out of their cars and then steal them. Literally, people are doing this stuff. And this is because of the TV shows and the video games that we're allowing them to watch. So be wary, be aware, educate yourselves on the effects of media and middle childhood development and what it will do as far as bullying and the social aspects of it all. So yes, I did get into a little bit more of the effects of media as well, because this can have effect on the way that children behave in regards to bullying, because there's a lot of TV shows. Like if I was to go back to the beginning, in the movie Mean Girls, that's a TV show, or it's a movie, and a lot of girls see that kind of thing and they think that it's okay to behave that way. Or like Hannah Montana and Miley Cyrus, and they saw her as being this cute little country girl in Hannah Montana, and they wanted to be just like her. And now they see her as this crazy pop icon, that is just way out there. And now they're kind of confused and not really knowing, how to take that. But then they're ending up acting like that too. I've seen girls that end up putting their hair like Miley Cyrus did when she was like into that mouse phase. It's just crazy. It's just crazy, the effects of social media and what it ends up playing as far as the role to the social claim to fame for middle childhood development and emotions. So hopefully these two videos were helpful and educational, and you can show this to your children. Hopefully use this for your own education and understanding of what ends up happening in the whys and the hows of it all. The who, what, where, how, whys. The who, what, where, how, why of it all. Yeah, something like that. So hopefully it was good for you and educational, and you'll take it with you and educate others. Thank you for watching.